Hi, my name is Genevieve Kulkarni, and I'm one of the study staff working on the UC San Diego East Palestine Health Study being run by Dr. Beatrice Golomb. A little about why we got involved. We have a long interest and background in chemical, drug, and environmental problems, and our work has led to the identification and recognition of adverse health effects and regulatory change for several toxic exposure conditions. As we watched the events of East Palestine unfold, we were concerned with the early messaging, which seemed dismissive towards health problems and risks, and the overall lack of response. Through our work with health effects of chemical exposures, we have seen these initial dismissive attitudes towards these issues before. We have strong expertise in mixed toxin exposures. Dr. Golomb's expertise relevant to East Palestine issues include a background in medicine. She has her MD and decades of clinical experience, a PhD in biology, as well as postdoctoral training in epidemiology. She has been working for many years with veterans who suffer from Gulf War illness, which is a chronic multi-symptom condition, which is clearly tied to mixed toxin environmental exposures, including burn pits, analogous to East Palestine issues. What we learned from Gulf War illness is that it's important to collect data as soon as possible after an incident to give people the best health outcomes possible. And that's what we're hoping to do over here. While the specific chemicals may differ between the two events, being Gulf War illness and the East Palestine issues, the core mechanisms of toxicity are shared across chemicals. These mechanisms include oxidative stress, which is a type of injury that antioxidants help protect against, and impairment to your mitochondria, the energy powerhouse of the cell. Mitochondrial impairment has been implicated for almost all the chemicals released in the East Palestine derailment. For Gulf War illness, our work has been instrumental in advancing the understanding of exposures implicated, risk factors like genes and past exposures, illness features, objective markers, and mechanisms of illness, as well as treatments that reduce symptoms, improve quality of life, and improve function. We hope to take the decades of lessons learned there to prevent decades of suffering here. In the face of many people reporting health problems after a multi-toxin release and burn event where many animals have died, safety cannot be asserted with any level of confidence. These safety claims are not justified. Even if there were good quality human safety data for each individual chemical, and this is not the case. And even if levels were known individually to be safe at all times and in all places, and this is not the case, and even if the safety could be asserted for each individual regardless of vulnerability, and this is not the case, the combination of chemicals can still be toxic. There are no requirements for safety data on chemical combinations, and by the time you get to 10 chemicals, there are over 1,000 possible combinations, and each combination can behave differently. Chemicals can injure cells, both additively and synergistically. And these biological injuries caused by chemicals need not go away just because the chemical does. An analogy that we like to use is removing the hammer does not undo the head injury it causes. What we hope to learn? We hope to learn what the health problems are both early and later on, in adults and in children and in the next generation. We want to know who is at risk and for what. Through our previous research, we know that not all people are affected equally. Things can differ based off of health, medications, habits, age, sex, genetics, and past exposures. We want to learn what can be done to decrease risks, for example, using diet, exercise, supplements, or habits, and what the impacts are, health and other, to those who have been affected. What is in our health study? You are eligible to participate if you were in an area affected by the plume, and we welcome participation whether you do or do not have health problems. All participants will complete a survey portion of our study, which is longitudinal, meaning it's done over time, which look at your short, medium, and long-term health effects. The survey inquires about exposures, health, covariates like protective and risk factors, and impacts like financial and housing. Our optional health study elements include laboratory tests done at a Quest diagnostics facility closest to you, where we look for health effects, not just toxins. We look at wristbands for non-targeted toxin testing, which is just a wristband you would wear around for a week before mailing back to us. We look at cheek swabs for genetic testing, vitals like blood pressure, heart rate, and weight, things that are often affected after toxin exposures, lung function testing, including peak flow meters and oxygen saturation, mechanism testing using mitochondrial blood spot cards, which is just another type of blood test. Biological changes the toxins can cause can make you ill, and these are the kind of things that we would look at using the mechanism testing. We would also have archive samples of blood and urine. As new information emerges that makes us wish that we had tested for something, we will still have the ability to do so using these archived samples. And for above, our laboratory tests include liver, kidney, and hormone tests. There was a National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine session about East Palestine, which generated many recommendations for things studies should be implementing, most of which our study was already doing. These include archive samples of blood and urine and liver function and reproductive hormone tests. We include children. We have non-targeted toxin testing, which means we don't just look at a specific set of chemicals, our tests are open-ended. And we also look at diet and genetic risks. How the study can help. The results of the lab tests done through the study will be shared for those who wish it. The lab tests, which you can then share with your doctor, may also help with enhanced surveillance and early detection. Even for problems not detected by these labs, by identifying problems arising in the group, this can allow for early detection and more decisive and potentially curative treatment, which may not be possible with delayed detection. We may uncover protective measures through diet, habits, or supplements. And as important findings from the study emerge, we will keep participants informed. By participating, you may help yourself, your family, your neighbors, and others. Just as we hope lessons from Gulf War illness will prove useful and helpful to the residents of East Palestine, we hope that lessons learned here can be useful for those who are affected in future mixed toxin events. Thank you all so much for your time, and thank you to the entire East Palestine community and the event organizers. For more information or to participate, I have our email, website, and social media listed below. If you know of somebody who might wish to donate, I have a QR code and links for our donations to the right. We do not expect residents who have been affected to contribute at all. Thank you again so much for your time.